Cristiano Ronaldo, the man behind me right here, a member of Manchester United's Magnificent Seven, is now out of the club, which means that Erik Ten Hag and Manchester United are definitely looking at striker options for the January transfer window, strikers who can help us with the second half of the season. Now, of course, if you read what is said about Manchester United in the media, you'll see that Memphis Depay is placed and portrayed as the best choice for Manchester United. But of course, I'm making this video to say that no, I don't think that Memphis Depay is the best choice for Manchester United in this situation, and that we should definitely explore other options. To me, any striker that we get in January should be picked and chosen based on three criteria. So the first one is, of course, how easy and how cheap is it to get this striker? Because the Glazers are not going to invest a huge amount of money on an elite striker in January, not only because there isn't much value in the January transfer window, but also because they are looking to sell the club. And generally, owners, when they're looking to sell the club, they don't really invest much, but rather they pass on that responsibility to whoever takes charge of the club after them. So the first criteria is, of course, looking for a cheap, value-based transfer target. The second thing is that we need a striker who brings something different to what we currently have. He should not be a striker that is too similar to the strikers that we currently have. And finally, it should be a striker who knows clearly what the deal is, that this is Manchester United, that we are going to be looking for an elite striker comes the summer, that we have already invested a lot of money into the likes of Anthony and Sancho, and that he should expect fierce competition for places, and he should not think that he's coming into Manchester United as a first team starter. And so there are a few options when it comes to players who fit the bill. There is John Duran, the Colombian striker, the young Colombian striker from Chicago Fire. There's also Moussa Dembélé, the French striker from Lyon, who could also be an interesting option. But in this video, I'm focusing on who I think is the best option. Marcus Thuram, son of French legend Lilian Thuram, 25 years old, 6'4", who plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach in Germany. So let's answer three questions about Marcus Thuram. First of all, how good is he of a player? And second of all, how easy is it to get him? And number three, how does he fit into Manchester United's plans in the short and in the long term? Let's do this. So how good is Marcus Thuram? Well, he is pretty good, especially this season. An extremely consistent and reliable player for Borussia Mönchengladbach. He's already scored 10 goals in 15 games and provided 3 assists. So 10 goals, by the way. He is second in the Bundesliga's leaderboard for goal scorers, 2 goals behind Christopher Nkunku. So that's a very, very impressive return for a striker playing for a team that are currently 8th in the league. Borussia Mönchengladbach are not one of the best teams in Germany, and yet he still scored 10 goals and provided 3 assists. Now, he is a type of player that is extremely rare in modern football currently, in that he is the perfect combination of size, physicality, pace, as well as technique. His ability to strike the ball and to dribble with the ball are amazing for a player his size. And so he's what we may call a complete forward, i.e. he's a player who can perform multiple tasks, multiple roles in a team because he has so many attributes. Take his dribbling, for example. For a guy his size, he succeeds in 61% of his attempted dribbles. That's actually sandwiched between two of the best dribblers in the world, Leroy Sané at 63% and Jude Bellingham at 60%. So that's actually quite impressive. But also he is, due to his size, and a player who is able to play with his back to the goal. So think of an Ivan Toney, for example. In fact, I think of him as the perfect combination between a player like Ivan Toney and Marcus Rashford. He's strong, 6'4", can play with his back to the goal, can get at the end of the crosses, and that's definitely the kind of player that we don't have. And a player with great aerial ability. But also with his pace, he can definitely go past players, but especially he can break the offside trap and make runs in behind the opposition into those through balls. Now, when you combine this with creative players that we have, the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Eriksen, and Anthony on the right-hand side, that could be a lethal combination. So he's also a presser of the ball because of his physical profile, because of his size, because of his pace. He's also an adept at pressing from the front, which is definitely a quality that we need at Manchester United. Right now, I think our forwards, with the exception of Anthony, are quite lethargic when it comes to pressing from the front. And I think that Marcus Thuram could definitely be a good option for us. He's just 25, so he's definitely not the youngest. He's not a wonder kid, but at the same time, 25 in this day and age, a lot of players are still playing at the top level when they are 33, 34. So he's definitely just at the right age, just about to hit his prime. He's currently in the French squad. In the World Cup, he's made 2 appearances against Australia and Denmark as a substitute. I don't think he's going to start because of all of the talent that they have. But if there are any injuries or suspensions to French forwards, I think that he's next in line, especially with Christopher Nkunku's injury. So keep an eye on him in the World Cup. But overall, amazing player. He's just the right type of player that Manchester United currently need. Now, how easy is it going to be to attract Marcus Thuram, and how likely are Borussia Mönchengladbach to accept our offer for him? Well, highly likely, because Marcus Thuram's contract expires in the summer, which is actually quite similar to the Denis Zakaria situation last year. Last year, in January, Denis Zakaria was sold by Gladbach for £6 million to Juventus. Manchester United were also one of the teams interested, and his contract also was expiring last summer in 2022. So this tells us that there is a pattern here. That Borussia Mönchengladbach are definitely a selling club, that they would rather sell one of their biggest stars for 8 to 10 million pounds rather than lose them for nothing at the end of the year. So they can sell Marcus Thuram, bring in another younger striker, and just keep on going like that. And so I think that for Manchester United, a fee between 8 to 10 million pounds should be more than enough to get Marcus Thuram. In terms of wages as well, he will know that he's mostly a squad player. He's not a star or a marquee sign-in. I don't think there's going to be much issue with like image rights and things like that. His agent also are not going to require big agent signing on fees and agent bonuses. So I think that that's highly likely and a very affordable sign-in for Manchester United. And then finally, we definitely have to answer the question of where does Marcus Thuram fit into the Manchester United setup? Well, I'm going to say this, probably another unpopular opinion, but I see Marcus Thuram not only as a Cristiano Ronaldo replacement for the second half of the season, but also as a long-term replacement for Anthony Martial. Now, we all know how good Anthony Martial is when he's in the mood, just like Paul Pogba. But of course, that doesn't happen enough. And that's simply not good for a player who's paid £250,000 a week and who is an expected starter at Manchester United. So I think that Erik Ten Hag knows that. He sees that. I think that he likes Anthony Martial for now because he has to make do with what he has. But I think that he's thinking about how can he improve on the options that he has. So I think that the club will definitely listen to offers for Anthony Martial in the summer. Now that way, Marcus Thuram, and then when we bring in an elite striker, could both fight it off for that number 9 position, with Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho on the left, and then Anthony and Sancho, who can play both on the right and the left, providing options on the right. And I think that Elanga and Pellistri both need a loan. They need to move away from Manchester United in order to explore other ways of playing football, to try themselves, challenge themselves in other leagues like Amad Diallo and Hannibal Mjibri. And let's hope that they can make the most out of their loans. But I don't think that they are ready for the first team setup at Manchester United right now. So I think that Marcus Thuram, with Cristiano Ronaldo leaving and potentially Martial leaving in the summer, Marcus Thuram and another elite striker could join Rashford, Garnacho, Sancho and Anthony as our 6 options for our 3 spots forward. And I think that this could be a pretty good arrangement at Manchester United. So anyway, let me know, what do you think about Marcus Thuram, and also what are your favorite options to be a Cristiano Ronaldo replacement for the second part of the season by leaving a comment in the comment section below, and cheers.